I was watching my favorite TV show on my phone, bouncing on the ball. I was just enjoying it rather than freaking out about it. They gave me a check, and I think they said, no, 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 no time for an epidural for you now. You're going to have to, it's time to push the baby out. I was like, what, really?
Her first birth, she felt like no one listened. She didn't know what even to ask, and it just happened to her. So today's guest is Linda Kelly. She is so precious and near to my heart. She has been with us since 2022. I believe it was 2021. She is amazing. We love having her in our community. She's actually pregnant again with her third baby, which is her second labor nurse mama baby. And I am so excited for you guys to hear her, and you'll hear why in just a moment. Good morning, Linda. So you guys, I'm so excited about this conversation. You guys are going to hear in a few seconds why I love to talk to Linda, because she has the best accent. And we always loved when she would show up on our hangouts, because you'll see. So good morning, Linda. Thank you so much.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Oh, I'm grand. I'm just a bit heavy now in my third pregnancy, which I said was never going to happen, but here we are.
Let's see. Show us the belly again. I want to see it again. And she's got the
Ooh.
cutest little blue checkered. Is that a dress or a shirt?
Yeah, it's a dress.
It's so cute. I love it so much. So, and funny enough, she is having a boy, which your first is a girl, right? And then the two boys now.
Yeah. First was a girl, and now two boys.
Yep. So Linda found me, I want to say it was like 2022.
Yeah, it was still kind of COVID-y time.
Yeah.
Post 2021.
Yeah. Okay. So she's been with me for a long time.
Yeah.
And this is her second baby with us. So remind me how you found me. Do you even remember?
I think I was just Googling like how to relax in labor or something really random like that, how to be in control in labor, or a lot of these kind of words. And then you showed up, and I saw like a few women posting about it as well in some of the different birth groups I was in online on like Facebook and stuff. And I might have come across your Instagram page because I saw one of your reels, and they're always entertaining. And I was like, oh man, she knows her stuff. Like, hello, So
Yeah.
I was like, this is deadly now. I wonder, does she cater to people outside of America?
Which I do. Yeah.
Yeah, thank God.
We've had students in a lot of different countries for sure. So it's exciting. So you joined the birth course, Calm Labor, Confident Birth, and then you started coming to the Hangouts pretty faithfully.
Yeah, it was such a nice place to actually just bare your soul, really. So you could actually just talk about exactly what you're worried about or things that are freaking you out, or, just get some kind of feedback on stuff. It's just
or
know that
families
someone...
driving you crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Providers, any of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Partners.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was such an interesting year for you guys listening, when like between COVID to like 2022, there was a lot of us that were still like kind of isolated from people. And we created such a bond in that group. And I still do the pregnancy hangouts, hint, hint, that you can come to. But it was just a different time because we just didn't have like, just the world was slowly coming back to life. So it was such a sweet experience. And I know that you also got to know Hannah, who's my assistant, who hangs out in the DMs and the comments. And she is also in the UK. So it's really, really great. Yeah.
Poor Hannah had her plagued.
That's okay. I'll have to tell her that we did a podcast today so she can listen to it. So Hannah is amazing. She has the patience. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. She has patience for me and every pregnant woman. So let's talk about baby number 2. And you took the class. When you came into the course, like, tell us a little bit about your first birth and why you were like, I have to do it different.
My first birth was very traumatic because I wasn't armed with any knowledge, basically. I just thought, okay, whatever they tell me in the hospital is what I do, and they know more than me, and just, do what you're told.
which
So,
which we know is not the case. That does
yeah,
not go anywhere.
definitely not the case, especially now that I know more. I could have avoided a lot of trauma, I think, if I'd have done your course before, if I discovered you for the first baby, because your first time baby is just really weird anyway, because you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, and is this right? Is that right? What's the best way to go? How much is it going to hurt, etc., etc. And yeah, you just kind of do what everyone else advises you. Then people like to tell you horror stories and stuff, so you're always like, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? Like the
Yeah,
poor girl who was next to me had been throwing up the whole time. And I said, is that going to be me in a few minutes? And they were like, no, no, she's just not
that's how
reacting
her
well
body
to,
reacted. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh,
Yeah. I was
but,
that girl with my first. I threw up in my hair.
oh
It was
gosh,
horrible. So here I am in active labor, washing my hair in the sink
oh
because
no.
they wouldn't let me take a shower because I was the same way as you. Like I believed that my doctor would tell me exactly what to do. My nurses would show me, like I could just come in. They were the experts. And I left that birth feeling like it had just happened to me. I did not feel like I was a part of it at all.
Absolutely. That's exactly how I felt, to be honest. Just like, okay, just go here, do that. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, my mom has 6 kids, and she was like saying, like, no, that's not
All
what
right,
ever
mom.
happened to me.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
going, what? She was like, no,
Well,
that
and
was really traumatic.
yeah, and it's just so sad because in the scheme of things, I had a great first birth. Like looking from the outside, wasn't very long. I went unmedicated, but I just really didn't feel like I made any decisions. And you know this from being in my world. I say all the time that someone is going to make decisions in your birth. It should be you. But if you don't know what you don't know, you're going to lean into the labor nurse or the doctor, and your labor nurse may be amazing, but she's still
Yeah,
going to filter the decisions through what she would do, not necessarily
exactly.
what Linda would do. So now you find the birth course, you come to the hangouts, and you had me and Taylor
Yes.
rooting you on. Tell us
Yeah.
about your second birth.
Ah, it was so much more organized for a start. I had my whole birth plan, everything I wanted, and had loads of new information. Like I had no idea that you could ask for a lidocaine injection in your perineum to ease the sensation down there, as
When you
everybody's.
were getting stitches or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's new. I wish I'd known that the first
Yeah.
time, because the first time I got the epidural didn't work, and I
Yeah.
I don't know if you want me to share what actually happened there, because I don't want to put anybody else off or
Well, I mean,
anything.
let's just say it didn't go the way she wanted.
Yeah, it didn't go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, no, second time I just was like, okay, I know what steps are probably going to happen. I know what, the dilation means and what is in regard to like stations and all that stuff. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, now I know
Yeah.
what they're on about. So I
Yeah.
can be like,
Wait a minute. Yeah. If you guys are
um,
listening to the podcast, make sure you watch the video on YouTube because she's doing some hand motions and stuff.
no, or sorry, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's okay. No
That was my
problem. So she's
motion.
yeah, she's wagging her finger at the doctor like, "Nope. I don't think so." So this time you
Yeah,
went in and you were armed with knowledge. And I say this all the time, knowledge is power. However, it's only power if you're willing to use it because you can know all the things, but if you're too scared to speak up, which that's why I do the hangouts with you guys so that I can walk you through those and you see someone who's farther along than you or someone who's not at the same stage as you and they're dealing with advocating and speaking up, and everybody's able to see like the different characters and personalities and how they might speak up, because like I might be a little more bold and someone else might be more timid, and so you're able to see how every different personality handles speaking up. And I think that is one of the most powerful parts of the hangouts.
yeah. And I will say, especially being Irish, we're very kind of prone to going, I'm grand, yeah, don't worry, yeah, you're grand, I'm grand, everything's fine. And maybe not saying how you really feel in general.
Mm-hmm.
But also, you always want to be polite. Sometimes I'm a bit like too nice, let's say, and
Yeah, like a people
um,
pleaser.
people pleaser. Yeah. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, right, yeah, not this time, buddy. Not
Yeah.
after that. So
Because
yeah, the
it's not
fact,
about being nice. It's about like your birth, and this birth, no matter what, your doctor walks away from it. It's his job or her job. And your nurse goes home and clocks out. But this birth is your birth forever.
yeah, yeah, and I was determined to have it go in a much smoother direction this time, and I even had kind of like thought about like my food snacks that I wanted to bring with me. So I had all my favorite stuff with me just to give
Yeah.
me that sense of calm as well, familiarization. I was watching my favorite TV show on my phone, bouncing on the ball,
Which I know what
just
that was.
yeah.
She
Can't
was watching
can't
Modern Family. My
can't
one
beat
of
a bit
my
of
sons
comedy.
loved that show too. So in Ireland, is it normal for people to eat during labor, or is it kind of poo-pooed on?
Yeah, I was a little bit like I was advised like, oh, you shouldn't really be
Don't do
eating
that.
now. What,
Yeah.
what if you need a C-section? And I was like, well, I'm not having a C-section, so I'm not
Snack,
mum,
snack, snack. Yeah. That's what we did with my daughter, the same thing. So I want, if you're listening right now and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can stand up to the doctors. I don't know if I can stand against hospital policy. All you have to do is just keep eating. Like you don't have to explain yourself. You just do what you want and the nurse will chart. And you can also, if you want, say, well, you can chart that I refuse to stop eating. And that will stop her in her tracks because that's all she has to do to cover her own behind on
Yeah,
that. But
yeah.
it's such an antiquated rule. Like we
Mm,
don't, if we have someone come into the emergent, like through triage in an emergent situation and they need an emergency C-section, we
oh
are
yeah,
not like going to waste time trying to find out like, oh, they ate an hour ago. We need to wait 6 hours. Like that is not the case. We do the
that's interesting.
C-section.
That's good
Yeah.
to know, actually. Yeah,
Yeah. So like the whole not eating in labor, like, and you know, because your labor went pretty quick, your body will actually tell you when to stop eating.
yeah,
And you'll get to a point where you don't want to eat, but eat until you get to that point and let yourself, like, you have a basic human right to eat. Your
yeah,
body
yeah,
is working out hardcore.
yeah,
That is one of
exactly.
the things that drives me insane. So she's eating her snacks. You go and you went past your due date. So let's talk about that. You went
Yeah.
to 41 and 3.
Yes, and so they said, right, we're going to bring you in for an induction. And I'd been induced the first time, and I was really quite traumatized by
That
that one
triggered you this
because,
time then.
yeah, totally, because the breaking of the waters didn't go very well, and I felt it a lot. Um,
Hmm.
so, but this time I knew to ask them to be gentle, and I asked for someone experienced to do it because I know they let a student do it because I don't know, maybe they were like, she's the first
Yeah.
time mom, sure she won't notice, I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, they will
But
do like they will have students do things to, they should be asking for your permission. Number one, I
mm,
personally never wanted, especially if you're unmedicated, which you were. I personally am not a fan of having a student learn on me. There's always people who don't care. So if you're listening, you're
yeah,
like, I don't care. And if you have an epidural, maybe I would be more apt to let a student do it as check because you can't feel it anyway. But
yeah,
I personally don't ever want student doctors or nurses in my birth because I want to
yeah.
minimize the people in my room.
Yeah, that's it. It was such an intimate thing, really, isn't it, as well? So
Hmm.
I did request that they be like, oh, please be super gentle. And then they were like, I'm, I've been a nurse or a doctor for so many years. Don't worry, and they just
Yeah.
like, okay. And then it happened. And I said, oh my God, that was like nothing. Great. Thanks, Emil. See you later.
Isn't that crazy to think that you've got nurses and doctors who are rough, which I know this because I did it for 16 years. And then you have nurses who are gentle, mainly more nurses than
Yeah.
doctors. Midwives and nurses are usually more gentle. But I used to joke with my patient that, like, we're kind of on a date here. Like, I'm not going to just, like, go really rough and I'm going to be gentle, like romance you a little here, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because like it is really intimate and violating if some,
Yeah.
and I've seen doctors that are horrible.
Oh
Like
no.
I wouldn't let them in my room if I were the one in labor. So this
That's
time they were
yeah.
gentle. So you went in to be induced
Yes,
and
and
your body was ripe and ready because it was fast. If you're pregnant and feeling overwhelmed, unsure about what really matters for birth, or hoping it all just goes well, this is for you. Most parents don't realize that it isn't effort, it's preparation that actually builds confidence. The Calm Birth Bundle closes that gap. It walks you through labor, birth, and your options in a clear, calming way. So you're not guessing in the moment or relying on someone else to decide for you. The goal isn't a perfect birth. It's a confident one. Right now, as a podcast listener, you can take $50 off with the code POD50. Go to labornursemama.com/calm, CALM. Get prepared, feel grounded, and go into your birth knowing you've done your part.
Yeah, like they did say, well, if you want to come back in a few days, you could. And I said, no, I want to have my baby now. I'm ready. I feel like he's ready, or all that kind of stuff. And I was just done being pregnant.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they did the break into the waters, and I had been in a bit of a panic beforehand, and then I was just like, no, you tell them what to do. You tell them what you want, and then your words running through my head all the time for the whole thing was just like, you can do anything for 1 minute. Don't worry, this is you can do it yourself. And then, it just, everything started to kind of kick off a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I can handle this. And I said, there's no point in concentrating on like, oh, I should be in pain. Oh, I should be panicking. And I said, I'm just going to chill out, watch my show with my earpods on, and they can tell me what's happening when they check
I
me.
love that you just said earpods. I'm dying because my kids make fun of me all the time because I always say earpods too. I knew that we're like connected, you and I. My kids would be like, Mom, it's AirPods, not earpods. I'm like, so what? They go in my ear. They're my AirPods.
They go in my ear. Exactly.
Yeah, Grayson makes fun of me and I'm like, whatever. Anyway, I love it. Whoops. So we both have our earpods in.
Yes, AirPods.
Okay, so she's there. She's on the ball. She's watching Modern Family. When we post this, we need to tag Modern Family and be like,
oh yeah, defo
show. Yeah.
Like, and I used to be a chef, so I was like, right, I'm going to make myself a really nice meal to bring with me, Like, so I made myself like a nice creamy chicken, mushroom pasta sort of thing.
Ooh.
And my husband was sitting beside me going, can I have a bit of that? I was going, well, if there's any left, sure,
You're not pushing a baby out your penis, sir. So no good meal for you. I don't think I knew that you used to be a chef. That's news to me.
Oh, yeah. So I knew what I wanted to bring with me, like doing all the date snacks and stuff. I was like all over it going, oh yeah, these are great, like nice and tasty and good for softening the cervix, as you were saying before in one of the many hangouts. Yeah. So the dates were yummy. And I don't know, I was very relaxed through the whole kind of thing. And then now and again, they'd just be like, well, hop up there and let's just check where you are. And at one point, I, quote unquote, hopped up onto the bed and I was like, ooh, I'm feeling something happening,
And you thought you had to poop.
Yeah. I was like, excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom, very like, oh, because you never really want to explain.
It's very, very similar feeling to having to. And what's crazy is even though you know that that's a sign that baby's coming, in your brain, it really, you think you're going to poop. So you're like, I'm not pooping right here.
Yeah, I was like, no, I have to go to the bathroom. Excuse me, like this is my private time. Like,
yeah. They were like, no.
Yeah, and they gave me a check, and I think they said, oh, no. I said, no, I'll take that epidural now. I think, sure. I said, no time for an epidural for you now. You're gonna have to. It's time to push the baby out. I was like, what, really? Oh my god, because it went really quick. That's the thing, because I was all distracted and just in my zone and just.
And you had tools.
Yeah, I was just enjoying it rather than freaking out about it.
I love that because I say that all the time. Birth is 90% mental and what you tell yourself. So if you tell yourself this is scary and I need to be like panicked and I need to be frantic and I need to do this and that, instead of just being like, I can just enjoy this. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah. It was so different. It was just such a game changer, that mindset change. And because the epidural guy did come in and he was like, sorry, an anesthesiologist, and
That's okay. We
he's
don't mind. You can call him epidural guy. We're fine.
epidural guy, and he said, "Are you going to have to stop moving around if I'm going to do this?" It was just real, like, I'm in a hurry, you know. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, well, I can't really sit still because I feel like I have to go to the toilet," you know.
Yeah.
They're just like, "Don't talk to me like that. So awkward."
Yeah. Yeah. No epidural for you, Linda.
Yeah. So that was it, and then just started, listening to the midwives, and they were giving me the heads up on what was happening and how much to go for it,
Yeah.
pushing and letting me know, listen to your body, the contractions are going like that. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm not going to push until it feels like I should, you know,
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
change. Instead of last time when I didn't feel the urge as such, I just did when they said push. I just
Yeah.
did
Wow.
tried.
It's such a difference.
So different, like it was mad. Like the body knows what to do since day dot. So that's kind
Yeah.
of what I've taken from the whole experience. And I think, my God, I think he was out in 20 minutes or something.
That's
Like,
amazing. And how long did
and
you push with your daughter?
oh, about an hour and a half. But I was
Okay.
still a bit like that was super quick as well. But I had an epidural
Yeah.
that didn't quite work. So I
Yeah.
was a bit all over the
This is a
place.
long hour and a half.
Yeah. So I didn't know what
Yeah.
I was feeling, which wasn't a great
Yeah.
feeling because I
But
just
this
did what I
time
was
it was
asked.
lickety split. Baby was
Oh
out
my gosh.
quick.
Yeah. He
And
was
how
like,
did you
I'm out of here.
feel? How did you feel afterwards?
I actually felt so powerful and quite relaxed and kind of like comfortable and just delighted with myself because I knew that I could actually stand up and walk to the bathroom and have a
Yeah.
shower as well, which was nice. But yeah, no, I just felt like, wow, if I can do that, I can do anything,
Yeah,
kind of
it
thing.
is. It's such a
Yeah.
powerful feeling. Like, and you guys know, for anybody listening, I support whatever choice you make, just that you're the one making the choice, not someone else. So like, obviously Linda was like, I think I want an epidural. There just wasn't enough time for an epidural. But even if she had gotten an epidural, she still would be a badass. Like she'd still be super powerful. So
Yeah.
that's okay. So I love your story so much, and like I can just picture, like, you sent us a little video from your car telling us how much you loved the course and all
Oh,
the things. So this podcast has been coming for a long time. How many weeks are you now?
I am 30 weeks now
Look
on
at you.
this bad boy.
10 more weeks having another boy.
Can't believe it. Like, I mean, I'm away right now in Spain with my two littles because I wanted to spend a little holiday with them before
Yeah.
we pay for an extra plane ticket.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just for a bit of quality time and stuff. And I used to have a terrible fear of flying, and I used to have to be well oiled getting onto a flight. But now I'm like, stone cold sober, heavily pregnant, going on a
I love
holiday.
it.
It's
Yeah.
great. Like,
She's well
mindset,
oiled. She used
mindset.
to have to be well oiled. I love it. I'm gonna have to tell my husband that one. That one's a new one for me. Okay, so I have a couple questions for you before we end the podcast. I would love to know, what would be one word that you would describe after taking Calm Labor Confident Birth course?
One word to describe. Oh, one word.
How
That's
you
hard.
felt.
Empowered, definitely. Yeah,
Empowered. Okay, I love
empowered.
it.
Yeah. For more words, armed with knowledge, just ready to advocate for myself.
I
Do
love
you
it.
know,
And what would you tell to someone who's pregnant that's like, I don't really need a birth class. What would you say to them?
knowledge is power, and that's that. Like the end of it, you can't all know everything, and there's so much information that's going to help you packed into this course. That information I didn't even know existed or that I needed to know, and
Yeah.
it just made everything so much easier and smoother and more relaxed. It doesn't have to be a big, scary, horrible thing
Mm-mm.
once you know,
Yeah. And
you know.
that's the whole thing. The fear of the unknown is really the biggest root to all the different fears, whether it's
Mm,
tearing or pushing or coping or the pain. It's really because you don't know what you don't know. And I tried to break down the topics in very little bite size that are
yeah,
understandable. And you guys end up leaving the course knowing everything I know. That was my
yeah,
goal, is that
I
you're
have to
walking
say.
in there super knowledgeable.
It's amazing because there's so many little, there's just so much, even on your Instagram page, there's so much that you're like, oh my God, I didn't know that, I didn't know that. like just even the physiology of the whole process helps you
Yeah.
understand what you're feeling.
Yeah.
So
And
like
how to
this is
move your
normal.
body. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and it also, by understanding what's happening inside of your body, you're able to realize some of the BS that the doctors and nurses want you to do is
Yeah.
counterintuitive to how your body works, which makes no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no
Yeah.
sense to me. So,
Yeah.
anyway, okay. So, before we get off, tell me, what do you feel is your superpower in any area of life?
Any
What's your
area of life.
superpower?
I think confidence now. Now more
Okay.
so after becoming a
I
mother, I think.
Oh, wow. Isn't that
Yeah.
true? It can
Yeah.
either knock your confidence for a little while and then you build it back up, or it can really build it. Okay. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming today, Linda. I can't wait to share your birth story. You know, I absolutely adore you and I love that you're in our community.
Thanks a million for having me. I can't wait to go to the next hangout now because getting close. Ooh.
Yes. And for those of you guys listening, if you join, we have people who come to the hangouts that aren't pregnant yet, that are barely pregnant, and people who are past dates. So you're
Yeah.
always welcome. All right. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thanks a million, Trish. See you soon.
Thank you so much for joining Linda and I as we chatted about her experience as a Calm Labor Confident Birth Course student and a mom who knew what to say, what was happening inside of her body, and how to navigate her birth with confidence. I love talking with Linda. I'm so grateful she's in our community. So, Linda, thank you for choosing us. As always, if this episode landed for you, please hit subscribe and do me a favor. Please leave a review, write a comment. They mean so much to us and they help us so much in the future. Okay, you guys, we'll see you again next Friday. Bye for now.